How does L-arginine impact sexual health in men?
Well, there's an interesting bit of physiology you need to understand to see how that would work. There is an enzyme called nitric oxide synthase, or NOS.
Okay.
And NOS helps to stimulate and generate the production of nitric oxide, where nitric oxide pulls nitrogen from L-arginine, which is circulating in the blood, and it pulls an atom also of oxygen, and these two atoms are brought together to produce nitric oxide. Now, it happens to be that a lot of this can occur because of the concentration of nitrogen oxide synthase, this NOS, nitric or nitrogen oxygen nitric oxide synthase, this enzyme. It's very abundant in the nerve and muscle tissues in and around the penis for men and the vagina and clitoris for women. So what happens is when you combine these two, it's been demonstrated in animals that the amount of the nitric oxide in the penis, the levels go up. And this also, for the male, increases the hardness of the penis. So this has been demonstrated in animals. And the reason we don't do this kind of research in humans is because measuring a gas could be very uncomfortable for a male at the moment of erection. It would cause a decrease in the erection rather promptly to be probing for the amount of the gas production. So they've conducted some animal work to demonstrate this. Now in women, the same thing occurs, but there the L-arginine makes the clitoris and the vaginal tissue around it more sensitive and responsive to sexual stimulation. And this is quite rare to find something that benefits women as much as it benefits men in terms of sexual responsiveness and sexual satisfaction. So it's the nitric oxide increase that produces an increase in vasodilation, in blood circulation, and as there's an increased amount of blood suddenly flowing into all these microvessels in response to the sexual stimulation, whether male or female, it heightens the sexual arousal experience that the individual is having. Now, eventually there's an enzyme which says, gee, this has been erect for way too long. For example, at the moment of orgasm, there's a decrease suddenly that needs to occur, otherwise a person is left in a state of hardness or arousal all the time. And that what you're trying to do eventually is to block that loss of blood, because that is what ends that episode of hardness or stimulation. So this is why nitric oxide is so important, because it helps in terms of sexual arousal.
Well, thank you for that information.
You're very welcome. Nitric oxide.